Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about the topic digestion and absorption. So before I begin the topic about what exactly is digestion, how digestion takes place, or how a digestive system works, I'm going to just revise a few terminologies with you that we have already done in previous classes, right? So these terminologies that we've already done are first nutrients. What exactly are nutrients? Can someone tell me what is a nutrient? Anyone knows what a nutrient is? All right. So a nutrient is basically any kind of substance that is consumed by any living organism, and that nutrient provides us with the energy that a person or any organism requires. So just to see what exactly is digestion. Digestion is the process of taking in and utilizing the food that we're eating. So both the things, how we are obtaining the food, how we are eating the food, right? And how we are utilizing that food. Both of them come under digestion. And if you have to give a proper definition, it is the process of conversion of complex food substances into simple absorbable forms. That means complex food substances, like maybe we are eating certain kind of organic compounds, and these organic compounds can be in the form of proteins, fats, nucleic acids. All these things can be organic compounds. These are broken down into simpler forms. So example, if you're consuming sugar, sugar will be broken down into glucose, right? And that is the simple form. So it's the simplest form of the organic matter that will be absorbed. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Now, there are two types of digestion. One is intracellular digestion and the other one is extracellular digestion. Okay. Now, understand this. Intracellular means inside the cell. So that means digestion that is occurring within a cell. All right. So, when we talk about digestion within a cell, especially in a food vacuole, then we call it intracellular digestion. An example of organisms that undergo intracellular digestion are protozoa, porifera, coelenterata, and even free-living platyhelminthes or your flatworms. Coming to extracellular digestion would be outside the cell. That means it is not just inside a particular cell, there is a digestive system. This digestive system will be responsible for undergoing the digestion. So not a particular cell is involved in digestion, the entire digestive system is involved. So all the higher organisms, most of your coelentrates, so here the lower coelentratas are involved, your higher coelentrates, and from platyhelminthes to the chordatas. So all higher organisms have a digestive system, right? Now moving forward, coming to the human digestive system. Now humans have a specialized digestive system, right? You have studied about this in your class 10th also. So we are going to talk a little in detail about this digestive system. So if we talk about the human digestive system, it can be divided mainly into two parts. The first one is the alimentary canal or the digestive tract. And the second is the digestive gland. Okay. So when we are talking about alimentary canal is the tract that goes from your mouth till the anus. All the digestive organs are a part of the alimentary canal. So the alimentary canal is a long coiled tube having muscular walls and glandular epithelial tissues which extend from the mouth to the anus, and it is about 9 meters long in the entire structure is about 9 meters long. So when you say that it's a muscular wall, that means the organs in the alimentary canal have muscles in them that allows the food to pass from the mouth till your stomach and intestines. And glandular epithelium, why? Because these glands or the glandular epithelial cells that might be present will be involved in the secretion of the digestive juices. Okay. And the second part of the digestive system is, of course, the digestive glands. They are involved in producing enzymes, which are nothing but your digestive enzymes, which will help in breakdown of food particles into the simpler forms. So like how I told you that sugar is broken down into glucose, taking the same example forward, these enzymes will help in breaking down sugar into glucose molecules. Is there any doubt, anyone, so far? We are going to talk about the alimentary canal or the digestive tract in detail. So just an overview of what exactly the digestive system consists of. So the ones that make up your digestive tract, they are mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Esophagus is nothing but your food pipe. So just have a look at this diagram here. This is your mouth, also known as the buccal cavity. From the mouth, it is going into the food pipe. They also have shown the respiratory system along with the digestive system. So from the mouth, this is the esophagus, which is the food pipe, opening into the stomach. Stomach opens into the small intestine, this highly coiled part. Small intestine then opens up into this large intestine. Then we have the rectum and the anus, through which undigested food particles will be discarded out. And the second part of the digestive system, which were your digestive glands, so they will help in digestion. These digestive glands are present throughout the alimentary canal, and it starts from the tongue. There are certain glands in the mouth that will make the saliva. We have the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. So for one by one, we will look at each and every organ of the digestive system, starting from the alimentary canal and starting from the mouth. So this is just an overview. This is a diagram that is much more just of the digestive system as compared to the previous one. So you can see here, this is the mouth. The mouth is also known as the buccal cavity. The buccal cavity consists of tongue, and it also consists of the teeth. Then we have the esophagus, which is also known as the food pipe. Food pipe is opening into stomach, which is a J-shaped bag. And stomach is opening into the small intestine, this highly coiled part. And then you have the large intestine, rectum, and the anus. So here, rectum can be marked. Apart from that, if you have a look here, there is liver. This big organ is the liver. You have this small pouch-like structure, which is the gallbladder. And right above the opening of the small intestine, you have the pancreas. So starting with the mouth first. So mouth consists of a vestibule. What is a vestibule? It is the opening. So the opening of the mouth is guarded by lips, right? And it also consists of the buccal or the oral cavity. So the opening of the mouth is the vestibule. Then inside, whatever is inside the mouth, that is the buccal or the oral cavity. Okay. Moving forward, so it's already mentioned here, vestibule is a space which is bounded by externally by lips, cheeks, and internally by gums and teeth. Coming to buccal cavity or oral cavity, it is bounded by palate above. So on the top portion, there is a palate. Usually we do not use the terms above or lower or all these things. Usually it is dorsal or ventral, posterior, anterior. So dorsal is the upper surface, ventral is the lower surface. So on the top, it is a palate is present. There is a throat, which consists of a muscular tongue, jaws with teeth on the sides. So we have two sets of jaws, upper jaw and lower jaw. So these two are also present. Now, palate forms the roof of the buccal cavity, and it is differentiated into anterior hard part and posterior soft part. So anterior is the portion that is on the top or ahead, that is anterior. So the anterior part of the palate, the upper surface of the mouth, that is usually hard, and the posterior, which is closer to your throat or the neck or the food pipe, that will be soft in nature. The hard palate has a uvula, freely hanging flap, which closes the internal nares during swallowing of food bolus. So what happens is when you swallow, when we talk about the food pipe, that time I'll explain a little further. When you swallow your food, it usually happens so that the windpipe is covered. All right, as soon as you swallow. So during swallowing, the uvula will rise up, the windpipe will close, and automatically the food will go into the food pipe. There is no covering present on the food pipe. The food pipe is open. Sometimes that is why when you're eating while let's say you're talking and you're eating, or someone makes you laugh while you're drinking water, that water goes into the windpipe or it goes into your nostrils, because the windpipe has not been closed properly. Okay, so this is helping in closing all the flaps. Then soft palate bears palatine rugae, supported by bones for holding food during mastication. Mastication is the process of chewing. So when you chew your food, some support is required, and that is provided by the soft palate. Coming to the tongue, so in the mouth, mainly we will be talking about two things in detail. One is the tongue, and other is the teeth. Okay, so tongue is a freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor of the oral cavity by a small little structure known as frenulum. Tongue helps in a few processes. First is ingestion, that means it will help in swallowing. It will help in mastication, which is chewing, and deglutition of food. That means it will allow production of saliva, and this also helps in voice production as well as tasting of the food. Now, if you look carefully at the structure of the tongue, then you can see that your tongue has certain outgrowths like this. So let's say if this is the tongue, closely you see there are these structures like this on the tongue, which you see like white spots on the surface of your tongue, right? So these things are called papillae. Okay, so the upper surface of the tongue has small projections which are known as papillae, and some of these papillae will bear the taste buds. Now, all of them do not bear taste buds. You have taste bud here, somewhere here. You have taste buds on the circumference, and you have taste buds here also. Usually in the center, the taste bud is absent. Okay, that is why when you take a medicine or something, it is better, like if you don't want to taste the medicine or you don't want it to be, tasting it awful, what you can do, you can place it right in the middle of the tongue. Okay, and then you can have water and swallow it. It helps in not tasting that medicine. All right, now coming to the teeth. Now just remember, papillae is not the taste bud. All right, papillae are just projections. On some papillae, there might be certain kind of taste buds that are present. Okay, now just coming back to teeth. Just 1 second. All right. Coming to teeth. So teeth, you all know, they are hard structures. They are meant for tearing, cutting, and crushing your food, as well as holding the food in your mouth, right? So let's have a look at the teeth. Just give me 1 second. I'll just go back to the previous slide. Just have a look at this. Just read this slide. And let me know if you have any doubts. All right, so let's just continue forward. Okay, coming to the teeth. Now, each tooth, if you see in humans, each tooth is embedded in the socket of the jawbone, right? And this kind of arrangement is known as thecodont. Now, a few things you have to remember. Direct questions can come on this, that what kind of dentition do humans have? So the arrangement of teeth in the socket of the jawbone or inside the mouth is known as dentition. All right. So first is that it is thecodont. The term thecodont means that tooth is embedded in the socket of the jawbone. Second thing is that all the humans have two sets of teeth during their lifetime. The first set of teeth is the temporary teeth. Right? Or milk teeth, or we also call it deciduous teeth. And second is, so this is the first pair of teeth, and second is permanent teeth, which is the adult teeth, right? So this type of dentition where there are two sets of teeth during the lifetime is known as diphyodont. So this is the second part. So first we have thecodont arrangement. Second is that it is diphyodont. Okay. Now, morphologically, if you look at the types of different teeth that might be present in any organism, they can be distinguished between homodont and heterodont. Homo means same, Hetero means different. Don't means teeth. Okay, so homo, that means all the teeth are structurally and functionally similar. Okay, so they all will be looking the same and the functions will also be the same. So this is usually found in vertebrates, except your mammals, and even some metatherian and eutherian, both mammals. Heterodont, on the other hand, heterodont means different. So when the teeth are different in structure as well as in function. So in humans, in us, we have 4 types of teeth. We have incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. So first, let's talk about incisors. So these are the front, long, curved, sharp-edged teeth right in the front of your mouth, right? So they are adapted for cutting, cropping, or biting. We usually bite with these teeth. Okay. Coming to canines, in total there are 4 in number. They are pointed, dagger shaped, and again they will be for piercing, tearing, offense, and defense. Now, these are of course poorly developed in man, as in when we've evolved. We usually do not eat any kind of raw food material or raw meat, or we are not defending ourselves by biting anyone, right? So we don't need it that much. So with evolution, it has now it's less developed as compared to if you look at dogs or any other carnivorous organism, they have sharper canines. Coming to premolars, they are 8 in number total. They are meant for crushing, grinding, and chewing. And they are also known as cheek teeth because they are present right where your cheek is. Okay. Coming to molars, they are also known as cheek teeth, and again they are present for crushing and grinding of food. So if you see the structure of molars and premolars, they are much broader in structure, right? And they will be, the surface area is more, like if you look at a canine, they are, or an incisors, they are usually very thin, right? And they are quite sharp. But if you look at the premolars and molars, they are usually from the top, they look like this. So they have a bigger surface and hence they help in chewing. Now, if you look at the structure of the tooth, the outermost structure is the enamel. So enamel presents the hardest part of the body. However, it is non-regenerable. So usually if you have like any kind of cavity or any bacterial infection, any kind of plague that has infected your tooth, the enamel will not be able to regenerate itself. It is completely acellular. That means there is no cells present. Avascular, that means no blood supply. And it helps in chewing of your food. Now, the element that hardens the tooth enamel is nothing but fluorine. So you must have seen in a lot of your toothpaste and all also that it is enriched with fluorine and all those things. So that is why it just makes the tooth more stronger. Only thing is that fluorine is of course produced inside our own body, and that is how enamel is formed. Right? Is there any doubt, anyone? Okay. Moving forward. Just this is the important part that we have to learn in the teeth portion, which is the dental formula. So if you look here, this is the placement of the tooth. We have the uvula, the throat, tongue. We have incisors in the front. We have canines, 4 canines. Okay. We have premolars, and then we have molars. Now, there is a dental formula that has been formulated to find out the number of teeth that might be present in any kind of, in humans basically. So the dental formula is the expression of the number of teeth of each kind in 1/2 of upper and lower jaw. That means we are just talking about this, just 1/2 of the face or the jaw. So if you look here, this is the dental formula. This is how the dental formula is given. It is 2123 by 2123. 2 incisors, 1 canine, 1 premolar, 1 molar. So this is only one side of the upper jaw. What you can do is you can multiply it by 2. So if I multiply it by 2, just one second. Yes. So this is how you can calculate. So if I have, let's talk about permanent dental set of man. 2123 into 2123. Both of them can be divided into 2 because we are talking about only one half of the face. Okay. So 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 gives you how much? 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. So 8 into 2. Similarly, here also it will be 8 into 2. Total 16 on the upper jaw, 16 on the lower jaw. Upper, this is lower. And total we have 32. So upper jaw 2, 2, lower jaw 2, 2, total 8. Canine, 1 on the upper jaw, one side, 1 on the other side. Similarly, in the lower jaw, 4. Similarly, for premolars, 2, 2, 2, 2, 8. And molars are 3 in number, upper and lower jaw both, total 12. And if you total all of them, 32. Now, a direct question can come. I have already told you that humans have 2 sets of teeth in them. That means we are diphyodont in nature. All right. So we are diphyodont in nature. So you have temporary set of teeth. Now in the temporary set of teeth, premolars are absent. So here, if you have to find out the dental formula would be 2, 1, no premolar, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 3. Do you think this is correct? 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 3. If you see here, there is one less molar also, because the last 4 molars are the wisdom tooth. That is not present in a child. So here, instead of 3, we'll be putting 2. Okay, so temporary set of teeth, this is the dental formula, 2102 upon 2102, and this is for the adult. Now, simply if a question comes that a doctor investigated, I do have questions like that. It is given in NCRT also. Let's say there is temporary set of tooth in a child, or a doctor has investigated someone's tooth, right? And you see that the child is about 10 years old. Usually we take permanent teeth above 18 years. Just remember that. Even if the wisdom tooth has not come, wisdom tooth usually comes after the age of 24 or 25. But above 18, we will take permanent dental set of tooth. So if you compare temporary dental set of man, let's say the age is 10 years given, or 13 years, 14 years, you will use this dental formula. Above 18, it will be this dental formula. Okay. Moving forward, we have a small portion which is known as the pharynx. So pharynx is nothing but, let's say this is the mouth, right? And this goes into the food pipe. This is your buccal cavity. Okay. Now, just before the opening of the food pipe, there is a portion which is known as pharynx. Pharynx is something that is common between, so it's a common passage between food pipe and windpipe. So like I was telling you earlier, when you swallow your food, the food pipe has no covering on it. Okay. There is a cartilaginous flap like structure, which is known as the epiglottis, that is present on the food windpipe. Sorry. So as soon as you swallow, the flap will close and it will close the windpipe and it will prevent entry of food into the windpipe. So pharynx, of course, has attachment. It allows it opens into the sound box also in the respiratory system. But for the digestive system, all you need to know is that there is no opening of the food pipe that is present, or there is no covering on the food pipe. It is completely open, and the opening of the food pipe is known as gullet. Opening of the windpipe is known as glottis. And hence, whatever covering is present on the windpipe, it is known as epiglottis. Okay. Moving forward, we have the food pipe. So food pipe is a long, thin tube, about 25 centimeters in length, passes through the neck, thorax, diaphragm into the stomach. The main function of esophagus is peristaltic movement. Peristalsis or peristaltic movement is nothing but relaxation and contraction of the food pipe so that the food can be pushed down. Okay, so it's given that is area of contraction, area of relaxation, and the food eventually is pushed down. Other than that, the esophagus will not do anything else. Okay, it is just a passage for the food into the stomach. Next, we have the stomach. So stomach is the most distensible, that means most expandable, and the widest part or the widest organ of the alimentary canal, because it can grow or expand a lot. Another thing is that how it can expand is because of presence of gastric rugae. So gastric rugae are nothing but infolds in the stomach. Okay, this infold, whenever food is coming in, these infolds will open up and it creates place for the food and allows the stomach to expand. Now, if there is loss of gastric rugae, that means this is always extended out like this. That means there is some kind of tumorous growth inside the stomach, because of which the rugae is not coming back to its original position, and hence this can be earliest signs of stomach cancer. Okay, so just remember, if there is loss of rugae, that means there are chances of stomach cancer. Now, the stomach location, it is located in the upper portion of the abdominal cavity, and it is divided into three major portions. First is cardiac, which opens from the esophagus. So esophagus will open into the cardiac portion. Then the middle portion is fundic, and then we have pyloric portion, which opens into the small intestine. Okay, now cardiac part is also is called this because it is closer to the heart, nothing else. It does not have cardiac muscles or anything. It is just because of the location. And the upper part is broad so that there is no regurgitation of food. That means the food cannot go back, okay, once it has entered the stomach. So this is like a quick overview of the structure of your stomach. This is the esophagus. Esophagus is opening in the cardiac portion. This entire portion, middle portion, is the fundus. This little portion is the cardiac. Okay. Then you have the pyloric portion, and this will open into the small intestine. Okay. Now, if you just have a look at this structure, you can see that they have shown rugae internally, right? That is infoldings. These infoldings can open up. So just imagine it like a balloon. You blow air into the balloon and it opens up. Okay. Next, there are some type of muscles shown. So initially in the definition, I had said that the alimentary canal is made up of muscular wall and it has glandular epithelium. So these are the muscles present. Depending upon their shape and the structure or the arrangement of the muscles, there are three types. We have longitudinal, okay? We have circular, that means they go round and round. Longitudinal go like this. And we have oblique, which will go in the oblique manner, nothing else, right? Now, stomach will open into the small intestine. So we will be talking about the internal layers of the stomach also, like what kind of glandular epithelium or what kind of epithelial tissues that are present. But those epithelial tissues are common for the entire alimentary canal. So I will talk about it in detail. Once I'm done with the alimentary canal, all of that I will discuss all together. Coming to the intestines, intestines can be divided into two parts, small intestine, large intestine. So first let's talk about the small intestine. The small intestine again has three parts. We have the U-shaped duodenum, middle portion jejunum, and highly coiled ileum. Ileum will then open into the large intestine. Okay, so the opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by a pyloric sphincter. Now, what is a sphincter? Sphincter is nothing but any kind of opening. So let's say there is this opening and it is a tube-like structure which is opening into the small intestine, highly coiled small intestine, right? This opening, if the opening is guarded by muscles, you call it a sphincter. Okay, so whether it is present in pancreas, whether it is present in small intestine, large intestine, in the esophagus, it is a sphincter. Now, depending on its position, different names have been given. Since the pyloric portion is opening into the duodenum, we call it the pyloric sphincter. Okay, ileum opens into the large intestine, I've already told you, and duodenum has ampulla of Vater. Ampulla of Vater is nothing but a duct or an opening which will receive juices from liver and pancreas, and this is guarded by sphincter of Odi. So again, that means there is a muscular opening or a muscular guarding present, and it is known as sphincter of Odi just because someone named Odi had discovered it, nothing else. Okay, so ampulla of Vater is the duct which will receive everything. Now, when we talk about the glands, you will understand it better, that where exactly it is present. Talking about ileum, it is thinner than jejunium, less vascular, that means less of blood supply, and it is the longest part, which is about 3.5 centimeters in length of the small intestine. Small intestine is the major site for digestion as well as absorption of nutrients. So all the digestion ends at small intestine, and whatever food is undigested, that will be then sent across to the large intestine. And in the large intestine, mainly there is only reabsorption of water, nothing else. Now, there are a few glands that are present in small intestine. Okay, these glands will be secreting different things that we will discuss a little later once I discuss digestive glands. So three are present. One is Berners gland, second is Peyer's patches, and you have crypts of Libercan. So Berners gland only in duodenum area. Okay, Peyer's patches are nothing but lymph nodes or lymph nodules, and crypts of Libercan are present throughout the small intestine, mainly in duodenum and ileum, and they are known as the intestinal glands. So most of the intestinal juices are secreted by crypts of Libercan. They are mucus secreting glands, Berners gland. Peyer's patches produce lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are basically for immunity, so they are phagocytic in nature and destroy harmful bacteria that might be present in your food or whatever you've taken in. And this will secrete your intestinal juices, which is also known as succus entericus. So another name for intestinal juice is succus entericus. That's it. There is nothing else. And they are formed by folding of lamina propria. So lamina propria is the cells that are present in the crypts of Liverpool. So this is just an overview of the small intestine and the large intestine along with the stomach. So this is the esophagus, J-shaped stomach, U-shaped duodenum. This duodenum is receiving food. It is receiving juices from the pancreas and your bile, liver also. It is guarded by sphincter of ODI. Then moving forward, the largest portion is the then we have the jejunum, middle portion, and the highly coiled part will be the ileum. Ileum will open into the large intestine. Now just have a look at the large intestine. If you see here, only this portion is the large intestine. I'm just going to shade it a little, right? This is the large intestine. Now, if you see here, large intestine can also be divided into three parts. First, we have the cecum. Cecum is nothing but the opening. The ileum will send whatever undigested food material is there in the cecum. Cecum then opens into the colon. Now, colon is the largest part of the large intestine, and it is divided into ascending colon because it is going up. We have transverse colon going transversely, and descending colon coming down. And the third part, so colon is the second part. Third part is the rectum. Rectum is where the undigested food material is stored for some amount of time, and then it is given out, or it is excreted out or egested from the anus or the anal canal. Okay. So just an overview of what the large intestine consists of. Like I told you, it has cecum, colon, and rectum. Now, the function of cecum is that cecum has some helpful microorganisms. They will help in digestion of certain things that might not be digested by our own body, or we might not have enzymes for them. So some symbiotic microorganisms are present. Now, if I just go back, and if you see here, there is a small bag-like structure attached to the cecum. This is the vermiform appendix. Okay, this vermiform appendix is a vestigial organ. That means, what is a vestigial organ? Vestigial organ means that there is no requirement or there is no use of this organ in us currently. However, this organ was present in our ancestors and was useful for them. So appendix basically is a vestigial organ, and it arises from the cecum. What their function was, that they had certain, again, they also had some symbiotic microorganisms that usually helped in digestion of cellulose. So usually the prehistoric men, or let's say the cavemen, they usually ate raw food material, and hence this was required. Now we don't require it because we are not eating raw food material. So this vermiform appendix has become a vestigial organ in our body. Now coming to colon, I said it is the largest part in your large intestine. So it is divided into ascending, going up, transverse, going transversely, and descending, coming down. And the descending part will open into the rectum, which opens into the anus. Now colon is concerned with only absorption of food from the undigested food, salts, vitamins. So there is no digestion in large intestine. Hence, there is no gland, and there is no digestive juices or enzymes present in the large intestine. And no absorption of food also. Whatever nutrients of food that had to be absorbed has already been done by the small intestine. The large intestine is only reabsorbing whatever water is present in the undigested food material, and now the food is known as, or undigested food particle is known as feces. Feces will then be stored into the rectum and given out in the anal canal. Now, colon bacteria, apart from being helpful in uh, digestion, it also synthesizes vitamin B12 and vitamin K, which are helpful in clotting of blood. Okay, so just remember this. So rectum has a strong sphincter muscle in its wall. The sphincter keeps the canal as well as the anus closed when not used for defecation. Anal canal connects rectum with anus, and it is about 3 centimeters long. Anus is the terminal inferior opening of the alimentary canal, again guarded by two types of sphincters: internal involuntary sphincter, external voluntary sphincter. Okay, and the chief function of the large intestine is absorption of water and elimination of solid waste. Right? Now coming to the wall of the alimentary canal. So entire wall, I told you, is made up of the same type of structure. So there are 4 layers to it. We have serosa, muscularis, submucosa, and mucosa. Okay, so from the outermost to the innermost, serosa is the outermost layer made up of mesothelial tissue and some connective tissue. Muscularis, as the name suggests, made up of smooth muscles only. No striated muscles, only smooth muscles arranged into a circular, longitudinal, and oblique layer that you saw in the stomach. Then there is submucosal layer formed of loose connective tissues containing nerves, blood, lymph vessels. So this is the vascular layer. Okay, and in duodenum, the glands are present in the mucosa, or it is generated from the submucosal layer. Innermost layer is the mucosa. This layer forms the irregular folds or the rugae in the stomach, and in the small intestine, it will form foldings called villi. So these are the villi, if you can see here. Villi are nothing, again, they are finger-like projections like this, if you see here, and they form connections with the lymph vessels and some capillaries, and together they are known as the lacteals. So this is the actual diagram of the lacteal. If you see here, there are blood vessels present or capillaries present, and they have lacteals also. Now this is mainly present, villi is mainly present for increasing the surface area. So these modifications increase the surface area for absorption of food material. Okay. So with this, we are done with the alimentary canal portion. We will be talking about the digestive glands in the coming session. We are just going to go through the questions for whatever we've done till now. So just the first question: an adult human being has total of 32 permanent teeth, which are of 4 types. So different type of teeth. What are they called? Iophodont, thecodont, heterodont, diphyodont. So the terminology where we use, where there are different types of teeth, the different types of teeth being incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. Okay, so these are the 4 different type of teeth. This arrangement or this type of dentition is known as heterodont. Hetero means all 4 different type of teeth are present. The correct option here would be heterodont. Okay. Next question: Which part of the digestive system contains symbiotic microorganisms? So we just did this. The cecum has or hosts helpful microorganisms. So this will be the correct answer. Okay, moving forward. Which part of the digestive system contains the lacteals? So lacteals, I told you right here, these are the lacteals, that is a network of capillaries and large lymph vessel. So the correct answer here would be which portion? Ischium, ileum, pharynx, and esophagus. So esophagus is the food pipe, pharynx is the common passage between the food pipe and the windpipe. Ischium is not part of the digestive system, so the correct answer is ileum, which is a part of the small intestine. Okay. Next question. Alimentary canal wall consists of striated muscles, striped muscles, smooth muscles, or none of this. None of these, okay? So, like I said, entire alimentary canal is made up of smooth muscles. So the correct answer is smooth muscles. Shatnik, can you log out and log in again? Maybe then you'll be able to see the screen, because I'm able to see the screen. There might be some network issue. Just have a look if you could rejoin again. Okay. All right. Moving forward, I hope there's no doubt in these questions. They are direct questions from whatever we've done till now. So these were direct questions from there only. Okay, next. Find out the correct statement with respect to the digestive system. First, tooth is embedded in the socket of the jawbone in humans. So this is correct, right? This type of arrangement is known as thecodont. Right? So thecodont arrangement is there. This is correct. This is only we were looking for. Let's just have a look at all the other statements also. Let's see how they are not right. All mammals are diphyodont. So this is not the case. Not all mammals are diphyodont. Okay, most of them can be just, they can have only one set of tooth. They usually don't have permanent tooth, milk tooth like humans. So they are not all diphyodont. All humans have 4 types of dentition. If you look at the dentition, we have thecodont, diphyodont, and heterodont. So 3 parts only. Thecodont, diphyodont, and heterodont. So only 3 types, not 4. So this is also incorrect. And last is, there will be 6 molars in an adult in the upper half of the mouth. So 6 molars, upper half of the mouth, there are only 3 molars. There are no 6 molars. One side has 3 molars, other side has 3 molars, lower side will one side 3, other side 3. So this is also incorrect. Next question. Epithelial cells of the intestine involved in food absorption have on their surface dash. So direct question again, microvilli. They will help in increasing the surface area for absorption. Okay. Next is, if I consider half part of the upper jaw and diagonal half part of the lower jaw, then how many incisors will there be present? So if I'm only considering half part of the upper jaw, so half part will have, upper half will have 2, and diagonal half part of the lower jaw, that will also have 2. So total 4. Okay, so that means if this is your jaw, I'm not drawing all the teeth here. what they are saying is, let's say this half part they are considering, and diagonally this half part they are considering. So this also will have, this section will have 2 incisors, this section will also have 2 incisors. Okay. Moving forward, identify the correct statement. So we have to find out the correct statement with reference to the human digestive system. First is ileum is a highly coiled part. Second, vermiform appendix arises from duodenum. Third, ileum opens into small intestine. Serosa is the innermost layer of the alimentary canal. So first we'll go backwards. Serosa is not the innermost layer. Innermost layer is mucosa. Serosa is the outermost. Ileum is a part of the small intestine. Ileum opens into large intestine, not small intestine. So incorrect. Vermiform appendix does not arise from duodenum. It arises from cecum. And ileum is a highly coiled part. This is the correct option. It is the most highly coiled part of the small intestine and the longest part also. Next question. Find the incorrect match. C-shaped duodenum, J-shaped jejunum, esophagus long tube, ileum highly coiled. So here, jejunum, we have to find out the incorrect match. Okay, so jejunum is also a coiled part. Duodenum is the one which is the C-shaped entering the small intestine. Then here you have the jejunum, and then you have the highly coiled ileum. So this one is incorrect. All other are correct. Then find the unsuitable match for fundic portion. Unsuitable, we have to find out. Followed by main central region, anterior most part of the stomach, upper left portion of the abdominal cavity, and anterior to pyloric. So what do you think will be the correct option? Followed by main central region, anterior most part of the stomach. So anterior most part of the stomach is upper left portion of the abdominal cavity. That means where it is located, and anterior to pyloric. So it is present above the pyloric. So this is correct. Then anterior portion of the abdominal cavity, the entire stomach is present in the upper portion of the abdominal cavity. So this is correct. Followed by the main central region and anterior most part of the stomach. So this is not the anterior most part. Anterior most part is cardiac, right? The first portion. So this is the unsuitable match. Followed by a main central region. That means it will form the main central region of the stomach. Okay, moving forward. Which of the following is not correct about pharynx? So we are talking about not correct. It is short, headed by oral cavity, has 3 openings. Epiglottis takes care of opening of esophagus. So first, let's say short. It is short. It's a small portion and a common passage. Second, headed by oral cavity. Yes, there is oral cavity, and the oral cavity will open into the pharynx. So this is also correct. It has 3 openings. This is also correct because one opening is towards the oral cavity. One opening is towards the esophagus. Third opening is towards windpipe. So 3 openings. So this is also correct. So this is the incorrect one. Epiglottis takes care of opening of esophagus. This is incorrect. Like I told you, there is no closing in on top of the esophagus. Epiglottis takes care of opening of the windpipe. There is no opening of esophagus. Esophagus is usually always open. Okay. Next question. Villi are not multicellular, have cells that form brush border appearance, have macroscopic projections, and increase the surface area. So villi, we know they increase the surface area. This is correct. Since they are present like this, they will give a brush border appearance also. They are multicellular because they are continuous layers. So they are multicellular also. They are not macroscopic. They are microscopic. They cannot be seen with the naked eye. They can only be seen under the microscope. So they are microscopic in nature. So this is the incorrect option. Okay. Next, which of the following is correct with respect to the stomach? So correct portion we are talking about. Here we were usually talking about the incorrect one. This is the correct one. Upper left portion of the thoracic cavity is the location. Has three major parts: cardiac, fundic, pyloric. The main central region is cardiac. Pyloric opens into first part of intestine. So it is located in the upper portion. This is correct. It has three major parts: cardiac, fundic, pyloric. Correct. Central portion, however, is not cardiac. It is fundic, and pyloric opens into the first part of small intestine. So this is also correct. Pyloric opens into the duodenum. So here this question is not, it does not have one option. It has different correct options. So there can be a following question where you have to find out, like, you are given option A, statements 1, 2, 3 are correct, or one is correct, or 2 is correct. Like this, there can be other options that can be given. So here you just have to find out first that what exactly is the correct statement with respect to the stomach, right? Okay. Next, we have a few more questions. Colon has sigmoid part which opens into the anus, descending part which opens into the rectum, transverse part which opens into the rectum, 3 parts. So colon, of course, has 3 parts. Now here, if you see here, descending part does open into the rectum, but there is like a small portion also, C-type portion also. So out of the following, the most correct part is that it has 3 parts. So ascending colon, descending colon, and transverse colon. So this will be the correct option. Next, which of the following is not correct? Not correct with respect to histology of the alimentary canal. Histology means the arrangement of the tissues or the layers. There will be 4 layers from esophagus to large intestine. Rest all parts have absence of one or other layer. Next, the order of layer from inside to outside: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, serosa. Third, serosa is made up of epithelium of visceral organs known as mesothelium. Mesothelium has some amount of connective tissue present. Okay, so if you look at this, there will be 4 layers from esophagus to large intestine. Rest all parts have absence of one or other layers. Order of the layer is correct. Outermost is serosa, then we have muscularis, submucosa, and mucosa. Serosa is made up of mesothelium, and mesothelium has some amount of connective tissue. This is also correct. This rest all part, this is incorrect. All part starting from the buccal cavity till the anal canal or the anus, all of them have the same layers present: serosa, muscularis, submucosa, and mucosa. Next question. Which of the following is not correct with respect to muscularis? So we're talking about muscularis here, which is the muscular layer. It has inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. Oblique muscle layers may also be present in some parts. Muscles has striations, and it is the second part from outside to inside. So it does have inner circular and longitudinal layer. So this is correct. We are looking for not correct. Oblique muscle layer may also be present. Correct. Oblique layer is present in the stomach. Muscles have striations. This is incorrect. All the muscles in the alimentary canal are smooth muscles, not striated. And last is, it is the second part from the outside. So if you see here, second part, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second one from the outside to inside, right? Okay. Next, which of the following terms describe human dentition? So human dentition, I've told you already, 3 types are there: thecodont, diphyodont, heterodont. B is correct. Thecodont, tooth embedded in the jaw socket. Diphyodont, 2 sets of teeth during the lifetime, permanent and temporary. Heterodont, 4 different types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars, molars. Okay. A baby boy aged 2 years is admitted to play school and passes through a dental checkup. The dentist observed that the boy had 20 teeth. So we are talking about temporary set of teeth. So I told you in the temporary set of teeth, we had discussed the dental formula. This is the dental formula. So here, premolars are missing. So correct answer, which teeth are absent? Premolars are absent. Okay. Next, the primary dentition in human differs from permanent dentition in not having one of the following types of teeth. So this is like a repetition, but in a different format, right? So primary dentition doesn't have, again, premolars, no premolars present. And then the vitamin which is essential for blood clotting. So I told you that the cecum has vitamin B12 and vitamin K. Vitamin K is responsible for blood clotting. Okay. So that's it for today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for coming to this live session. Thank you so much.